I'm very happy because today I'm going to share with you 13 different ways on how to beat Sicilian defense. After the moves e4 and c5 we have Sicilian defense, and you can go on my website. You can find in the description below the link in order to see this very analytical article about the Sicilian defense. You can see a lot of games, a lot of videos, how it came this name, the Sicilian defense, how it became popular, when we have the crisis on 20th century, when it rise again, main ideas for black, and here you can see some articles. We are going to see today the Alapin variation, or you can see the Grand Prix attack. You can read this article. If you click on Grand Prix attack, then you can see another article, another very detailed article with a lot of videos again, a lot of games and things like that. And in the bottom of that article you can find very specific lessons on Grand Prix attack in order to learn many things about this particular opening. And if you click in the other link, Alapin variation, you can go in today's article, how to destroy the Sicilian defense. I have here a lot of games. You are going to see them now in this video. We have another video there, and I separate it in 13 different traps, so you can enjoy the games with me, and after that you can dive in on the website in order to see all the games. And now we have this Sicilian defense, and here we have different things. The Alapin variation is this move c3. The main idea behind it is to play the move d4, and after, for example, knight to c6, d4 takes. I have another video here, another cool video for you. You can see it afterwards, in which now we are threatening to go on d5, so black should play something like that. And now we have knight to c3, and we have some other traps there, very similar to Alapin variation. You are going to check it a little later, but now let's focus in this Alapin variation. We can play c3 instantly, or we can play this move knight f3 first. This is a waiting move. We are waiting black to choose the system. He can choose different systems. For example, he can play d6 or e6. He can develop this knight or the other knight, but he has to choose. Why we played like that? Because we would like to see what black is going to play. For example, if we are going to play the Grand Prix attack, we can do it right away with the move f4 like this, but black has this tall gambit and it's a little annoying for white, right? In order to avoid this one, we can play the other move. We can play here in the second move knight to c3. This is another waiting move. We didn't play the close Sicilian yet, but we are waiting black to choose something, and for example after that we can play the Grand Prix attack, and in advance we stop this d5 idea. So after the move c3, the delay Alapin opening, we are waiting black to play something. He can play, for example, d6, and after c3 we have knight f6, and here bishop e2. Continue developing the pieces and be ready for the short castling. Here is the first trap. Black can see a pawn here on e4, so he can grab it, right? But already he fell into the trap, and now he is losing, because we have this double check, the double attack, actually attacking the king and the knight here, so white is winning. Previously we seen that he is going to capture this one on e4, and now let's see something else. He can develop the knight first of all in order to block this diagonal and continue playing, right? So it's white's turn, and white can play in the center of the board, and now black say, okay, I can capture that pawn now, why not, right? But this is already another trap that he fell into, because we can play d5, kick away this knight, open this diagonal brutally, and after this, for example, we can give another check here. He can go somewhere, and now we can capture again the knight. Let's move forward to see trap number 11. Here previously he just captured on e4. This is another game, but he can say, okay, I can capture first of all, and after this I can capture now, why not? But again we have this d5, it's very similar to the previous one, and after this we can give this double threat, and after that we can capture again the knight. Trap number 10. For example, we've seen this one 95, but black could be a little more smart here and play the main line, which is queen a5 check. So the idea is to stop this check here with his own queen, and he is attacking our king. So we should develop the knight, he can capture, we can capture, and here it's another trap, because he can capture again the pawn, and it's very logical because he is attacking our king and attacking the rook. Double attack. But after bishop d2, he has to do something. He can go away with the queen, and after that we can capture this knight because this knight was under attack. Trap number 9. So he's not going to capture this pawn. He should be a little smarter and he should play knight e5, right? It is very natural. Here we have two moves. One of them is to castling short side. It's okay to play like that, and the best move is to capture instantly. Let's see all of them. First of all, we can capture, and now you can capture this pawn on c3 again, because the knight on c6 is not under attack. We can capture and queen can recapture. Here the main idea, black's main idea, he has two pawns. He has two extra pawns, and he would like to maintain his solid pawn structure. Strategically is very sound. In the other hand, actually, he don't have development, because how he's going to develop all of his pieces? And it's like football. We're going to develop our pieces very, very fast, and we're going to deliver some very, very nasty threats against the enemy king. If you are a beginner at the first or the second year, you should develop your pieces naturally, but after that, if you like to improve yourself and become a better player, you should play these dynamic positions. You should sacrifice something in order to get the initiative and create attack right away. So here we can give this check on b5, because this pawn is an obstacle and he cannot capture our bishop. He can play something like that, take, and now we have a check with the queen. The pattern is almost the same. We're attacking in this area on the queen side, attacking the king. He can play something like that, and now you see he's threatening our rook. He didn't have time to capture this because we threatened his king, but now he's threatening the king. Hey, do you like the content? Now it's time to click the thumbs up button. The rook on a1, but we can develop our pieces, as you can see, giving up another pawn, but we would like to bring this rook on c5, and the king is very poorly placed on c7. For example, he can take here, rook f takes c1, rook f c1 check. He can play this, and now we have this nice checkmate. At this point, I'd like to talk about the chess opening package, which contains Scandinavian Defense, Grand Prix Attack, and Benko Gambit. If you click in any of those links, you can see the detailed curriculum of the lessons. Each course contains theoretical videos and analyzed games. In total, we have 46 theoretical videos, which are more than 11 hours, and approximately 200 analyzed games. Only 1 hour of a professional trainer cost approximately 20 euros, and you can see here the outstanding final price of this package. If you're interested and you'd like to own this package, then you can click the link in the description of that video. Trap number 8. Previously he just captured on c3, right, with the knight on e5. So he is going to do something else, and he said, okay, I don't like to capture your pawns, one pawn is enough, I can play something like g6 in order to develop my pieces. So we can capture there, he can recapture, and now we should attack actually. Because if you give little time to black, then he can play bishop to g7, short castling, and he is a pawn up. So we have to do something right now. We have this very nice move, a key move in our attack, and the idea behind this move is to keep control under this b5 square and give a check on b5. This is our idea. Similarly, we are harming black's development. For example, you cannot play bishop f5, we can capture a pawn. The rook on the 7th rank is very strong. If we manage to put it there, it's very good for us. For that reason, he has to do something else, and he's going to play bishop d7, say, okay, you can give a check, but I'm trying to develop my pieces, alright? But here we have another very strong move, and this, you should remember that, very strong move is d6, very strong move. What he's going to do? First of all, he can castle along a short side, but here he already fell into another trap, because we can play d7, and this poor bishop here is under attack. We managed to capture that bishop. He can play this one, rook d8 for example, to create a pin, but we can create a new queen. He cannot capture our queen because this rook is pinned. Dead end. He cannot do anything. He can capture this. We can play queen b3, and white is a piece up, a piece for 2 pawns. I think you can win that game easily. So another idea here is to capture on d6 like that, so we can capture on d6 with our queen, and you can see this queen here stopping the short castling, so the king cannot pass from a square that we are already controlling, so he cannot castle short side. He has to do something else. He can drop back the queen, offering queen exchanges, but we should not exchange the queens because we have an attack. When you have the attack, you should keep the pieces on the board, and we can give this check on b5 right now. He can put the bishop there, and now we have another brilliant move, really brilliant move. How the tactics are working. Some of his pieces, first of all, you don't have good development, and we have good, very active pieces. This is very nice, a key moment that better activity give us the opportunity to attack. This is one step. Another step is that some of his pieces playing defensive roles, and this queen here plays a very important role to protect the bishop. So the queen is overloaded. We should do something about the queen. Give little cheese to the queen to take her away or lure her to go away. And this brilliant move is bishop g5, attacking the queen. And after this, we have checkmate in 3 moves. I'm not going to present the checkmate in 3 moves, but you're very welcome to pause the video, think carefully, and perform the really cool checkmate in 3 moves. You can, if you find it, you're very welcome to write a comment below. Why to play checkmate in 3 moves, and the last move actually it's really beautiful. So let's continue. It's your task to do something, because it's not a cinema movie. You have to think actively here. We are training. And after d6, this very strong move, black could play something like a6. Very logical, right? Because you would like to stop this b5 check. So here we have 2 moves. One of them is to put the bishop on f3. We're attacking that pawn. We can capture later there. He cannot castling because we have d7 with huge problems. Computer assess this position as winning for white. Another strong move as the game continued is this one, d takes e7, very strong move as well. He captured there, queen b3, rook d8, try to exchange pieces. During the game, the white player played bishop to c4, tried to attack this one. He has better position. He managed to win the game afterwards, but even stronger is this one, bishop b3, because we are threatening this bishop to b6. Take control of this weak square, so white is winning. Trap number 7, previously we've seen the short castling, and now let's see the strongest move, and this is knight takes e5. So he can do some things. He can capture the knight or capture the pawn. He can try this one. This is a check, and he can, after that, he can recapture with the queen. And the differences here is that our bishop is not on c1, but the king is in the center. We didn't castle short side, so we can castle short side. Now black has the opportunity to capture another pawn. So he's 3 pawns up, right? But he don't have good position, because it's like football. We have achieved 3 goals, 3 developing moves, and he has only 1 piece developed. So we are better here. We have the activity, we have the momentum. We should do something right now. And white has 2 ideas to do something, 2 good moves. One of them is rook to b1, a key move, because as we seen earlier, we would like to give a check here on b5. But we cannot do it without the rook, so this is the idea. Rook to b1, we are threatening a check, and he could try to develop, right? To play something like that to develop the bishop. Here we have the check, bishop d7, takes, the king is there, and now the queen joins the party. Put the queen close to the penalty area. And this game ended after this move, queen to c6. We have a very typical combo here, white's turn, and what is the move? The move is rook takes b7. The queen is pinned, cannot capture the rook. The king has to go away, and then we can capture the queen. 2 moves ahead. So this game ended like that, and he can try something more stubborn defense to play king on d8. And here we have an amazing move and an outstanding move. What are you going to do here with white pieces? And the brilliant move here is rook takes b7. Our bishop was under attack. We are sacrificing the rook, but we are threatening checkmate in 1 move. He can capture this, But now, after this check, we eliminated a key defender, actually the pawn, so he cannot block with the pawn, and after that we have another brilliant checkmate with the queen. Cool, right? Trap number 6, previously we've seen g6 move, so he could try something else. He could try e5. What is the idea? He would like to develop the bishop on e7, castling short side, and he has an extra square for the king. Can this move save black? No, not at all. Because we can give another check here, and after this we can take, and now we can give a check on a4, or we can give a check in the other side of the board, in this one, on g4, and with that pawn here on e5, he cannot block with e6. He has to do something else like that, and now we have another very strong move, because activity is very important. If you have the activity, then you will have the right to attack. And we played this move rook f to c1. This is a trap, actually it's analysis. This is a very strong move, and if he just captures the bishop, we can play queen to c4. You can compare the activity of the pieces. Activity is how many squares you are controlling, and you can see the white pieces are controlling the entire board, we can see, but what this rook is doing here, or this bishop or that rook, and we're threatening something like that. He can go away, then we can give a check, or we can capture that pawn, threatening some mates, and black is in extremely difficult position. He can play something like that. This is a take, and after this we have a check. The king can go in the corner, and now we have another brilliant move. What are you going to do here with white? If you find it, you are an amazing person. We can play this discover attack, because we are attacking the queen and we open up that line, so the rook is under attack. He can delay a little bit the checkmate, but it's inevitable to do anything at all. And this is a checkmate. Trap number 5. Previously we've seen this move rook to b1, and now I'm going to show you another one, rook to c1. I'd like to give you more options, many options, in order to understand the position clearly, to understand what you're going to do and what you aiming for. Rook to c1. The idea of that move is to penetrate on c7, to install the rook there, and the rook in the 7th rank is very important attacking piece. He can try to develop his pieces, rook c7, bishop g7, and now we cannot give this check with the bishop, but we can give a check with the queen. This is a check, the king is under attack, and now he has two options. He can go right or left. For example, if he goes here on f8, we have another really cool diagram. Your turn. What are you going to do with white pieces? And yep, the correct move is queen takes a7, because the rook is overloaded. He can capture there, but we have a cool checkmate, right? So he cannot go on f8. He can try this one attacking the rook, and now we have bishop a5. We can try to do some discovered checks with the rook. He can play something like that, b6 attacking our bishop, and this is a very calm but very strong move. He can capture the bishop, but this is not good because you have a double attack, and this double attack can happen after this. We are attacking material and square, so we're threatening checkmate on e7 and the rook in the corner, so white is completely winning here. He cannot capture the bishop. He can try something else like this one. During the game, the white player played this move. It was a game on 2002 between two players under 14 years old, two kids. This is a very nice move. White has a completely winning position, but unfortunately he didn't manage to win the game. The best move here, according to the computer, is to take on a7. Again, he cannot take on a5 either with rook, with the bishop, with the pawn, or with the queen. He cannot capture like this with the pawn or with the queen, because we have the same mating motif. We have a key defender here. We would like to create a checkmate, so we are going to eliminate the defender after this check, and after that we have a final checkmate. Close to the end, trap number 4, and here we already seen queen takes on d5. He was very greedy, and after that we had two options. One of them is rook to b1, another one was rook to c1. But here we have another move, and black say, okay, I'm not going to capture that pawn, 2 pawns are enough, I'm going to develop my pieces, and he can try something like g6. But now we are not forced to play the rook on b1. It's not necessary to do that because we can give a check on b5 in any case. This pawn is helping us. He can put the bishop there, takes, the queen is there. You can see the pattern is very typical. And after that we can play bishop to a5, b6 for example, and now we have another pin. First of all, you have to find the pinned piece or pawn, and this is a7. This is the pawn because something is unprotected behind it. We can capture there, he can take, this is a check, and after this you can see the pawn is very powerful and will already protect or control some squares around his enemy king. We can play this one, bring one more piece into the attack, he can delay a little bit, but the end is very near. So white is victorious. Trap number 3, and we seen queen takes c3, but here he can try something else. Say, okay, enough is enough, I don't like to capture your pawns, he can capture the knight instantly. So we are a pawn up with black is a pawn up, and white should do something. White should develop the pieces. Actually, if he just capture here, we have a check, and after this we can exchange, and now queen a4 and bishop to e3. Again, we have a very strong attack with very similar ideas. Rook can come here, we can capture something, and he has real problems. The other rook can go there, we can capture on b7, and you can say the attack is very strong. For that reason here, black can play something like g6, say I have one pawn, and he can develop his pieces. He can try to develop his pieces. Finally, so we have rook to b1, again with the same idea to give a check here on b5. He can play this, and now we have bishop a3. This is Karpov's game actually, and we're threatening to play this move bishop to b6, so he can play b5, and now Karpov played this very nice move c4, really cool move, tried to open up lines, and after this for example the rook is under attack. Now he played a fantastic move, and this move is c takes b5, and after that we can play, he played actually rook b2, saving the bishop, and now after castling we have b6, and this pawn is extremely powerful pawn. White is completely winning here, or he can capture there, but during the game happened this another check, king f8, bishop c6, the rook is under attack here, and g4 attacking the rook, e4 attacking our rook, attacking the bishop here. He can attack our rook, we can save this one, everything is just protecting, and this bishop doesn't have any square, so white won that game. Previously we've seen a lot of interesting things like that, knight to c6, so black can try something else. What is this different idea? The different idea is to play bishop on g4, right? And it looks, okay, I'm going to pin your knight, I'm going to threaten your pawn, and I'm not capturing your pawns right now, but I'm threatening to capture them a little later. And here black can play a fantastic move, and this fantastic and winning move is d5. Positionally, it's a disaster. If we just play positionally this move and we don't have any tactical reason, it's extremely bad, because after knight e5 he has a deadly pin there and he can destroy our pieces and things like that. But already he failed to do the trap. We can win here, and we can win like Legal's checkmate. We can capture the knight, he can capture our queen, and now we have this powerful check on b5. How tactics are working? Tactics are working because this knight is hanging right now, but he didn't have the time to capture our knight, and this knight is still there, it's helping us, and the only move is to put the queen on d7. We can capture this one, he cannot recapture because the knight is helping, and after king to d8 we can capture here on c7, and again we're attacking everything. He can capture the bishop, taking the rook, and white won that game. Please accept my congratulations, because you are very near to the end, and here we have the final and the most impressive trap. Previously we've seen bishop to g4, try to pin our knight, so he's trying to do something else. Little smarter, he knows this trap, so he's going to do something else. For example, he can take, and now he can pin this one. And black's idea is after d5, he can go on e5 because now we don't have these checks, right? We don't have these streaks here, because after knight e5, black thought that he can give a check here on a5. This is the idea. Now we don't have the same one. Previously we've seen after this we have the same check and the same pattern, and if he just captures here, we can capture the bishop. So he's saying, okay, I have this check, what are you going to do now? And white again is winning with a beautiful combination, and this combination is bishop to d2, attacking the queen. What he's going to do now? The queen is under attack. He can capture our queen, we can capture his queen, but now we are threatening the bishop. He can capture the knight, and we have a beautiful Bodan checkmate with the two bishops, and white is victorious. Thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Here it's time for action. This is the initial page of my website, and here you can click Give me access to get access to free lessons. You can read this page, and if you scroll down, here you can add your name and your email. After that, you're going to take a free lesson how to avoid chess blunders. So, time for action is now, and you're very welcome to join my mail list.